Hey, it's Vinnie with another edition of Drive Time. This week we take a ride in, I think, one of the coolest cars out there. It's Ford's absolutely perfect Mustang GT 5.0. Now, the 5.0 went away for a while with the Mustang, but they have brought it back with 412 horsepower, 390 feet-pound of torque, and I gotta tell you something, this car rocks. Well, look at it's blue like Viagra, but I'm going to tell you something. If you're driving this car, you don't need any Viagra. All you need is a tank full of gas, some open road, and a whole lot of time to have some fun. Come on, let's go for a ride. One of the places where 412 horsepower and 390 feet-pounds of torque come in handy is when you're trying to get on the highway, because wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that's what it's for. And the Ford Mustang does not disappoint. What does disappoint, though, is when you can't go any more than about 25 miles an hour in traffic at 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. Ugh. But that's the thing about the Mustang, is it's enjoyable whether you're cranking the thing out on some nice piece of highway or you're driving down in, 5 o'clock traffic. It's still a very enjoyable car to drive. Another place where Ford really got the Mustang right is the interior. Take a look at the dashboard. Classic. Not a lot of digital stuff on here. You got the gauges that remind you of the mid-60s Mustang. All analog stuff, not a lot of digital stuff on here. And then you go from the kind of retro look, which actually melds really nicely, into the modern look, which is the Ford Sync system, which is maybe the best cellular phone / text message / information system in any car. Because it does a number of things, including give you your text messages, let you use it as a cell phone. Ford really got the dashboard, the retro-looking steering wheel with the buttons for the cruise and the volume control and the sync system and the seats. They got it all perfect. I mean, I don't think you could do any better in the interior. They left it clean, they left it good-looking, they left it retro, but yet integrated all of the modern conveniences that you would want in a car like this that you're going to go out and spend 38 grand for right there. So you don't feel like you're missing out on anything by buying a retro-looking kind of Mustang. Now, besides a really nice design on the interior, Ford was smart enough to make the Mustang's trunk big enough that you can throw some luggage in there and take that nice long trip. Because when you get this car, believe you me, you're going to want to be taking a lot of long trips. Under the hood is where the Mustang happens. The 5.0 liter is back this year, and it's better than ever. The aluminum block and TI VCT technology helping the dual overhead cam V8 crank out 412 horsepower, and best of all, giving you neck snapping torque throughout the tachometer. Now, the version I tested has Ford's 6-speed manual rock crusher. Ford also stiffened the suspension on the GT, dialing up the spring rates and enhancing the lower control arms. Add to it some great 19-inch performance tires, and not only does the Mustang GT crank, but it handles the road like it's wearing a pair of Air Jordans as well. All right, another cool thing about the Mustang, the Ford My Key system. You can program through the key this car to go no more than 80 miles an hour. That's right, so once you get on the highway, it's not going to go faster than 80 miles an hour. A little bit of peace of mind about Junior and whether you're, letting him use the car to take Mary Lou to the prom. It limits things. You have some control if you want to let the kid use the car, but I'm telling you right now, you're not going to want to let your kid use this car. You're going to want to drive it all the time yourself. If you're a big guy, you sit in this seat, your right leg is going to bang up against the emergency brake and turn it on every once in a while. So you really got to keep an eye on that if you're a big guy and you drive a Mustang. Ford, when you do the next model of this car, you might want to move the emergency brake to the other side. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. All right, this edition of the Ford Mustang that we're testing today is the 5.0 GT. It'll run you $38,760 out the door. That's the sticker price. Give you 26 miles per gallon on the highway, 17 in the city. It's one of several versions of the Mustang. Of course, this is the coupe. You have a convertible, and what's really neat is the Boss 302 is on the way back. One of the seminal muscle cars of the 70s is coming back from Ford. You got to see it to believe it. As soon as I can get my hands on one, believe me, we will do a drive time on one. Hey, it's a great time for muscle cars in America. They're back, they're better than ever, and the Ford Mustang, leading the way the first time, is leading the way in the new wave. Now, what's good about these cars is they look like the old muscle cars, but they have all the great stuff that you've come to know now. All the safety features like airbags, anti-lock brake systems, all the cool stuff like Bluetooth and great stereo and sync systems and cellular phones. So you get the best of both worlds if you're going to drive a muscle car. And Ford has really done it up right with the Mustang 5.0 GT. I challenge you to go out and find a better muscle car than this one. Well, that won't be hard to do though, will it? Because it's the best time for muscle cars. That's another edition of Drive Time. I'm Vinnie. Thanks so much for keeping an eye on the cars that we drive.